Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, as we certainly arrive in a much better mood. I have the feeling right now, especially to win the game like that in the final seconds. And what a goal it was from Jordi Alba, that volley. We're going to be talking much more about that today. We're also going to be reflecting, though, on Xavi's words from after the game. He demanded still improvement from this team, and I think that's a really good thing. And we're going to be talking as well about some of the performances last night from those who came in from the cold, who finally got some minutes under their belts, along with, of course, there is no way that I could do a video today and not discuss Ansu Fati. We're going to be comparing him to our other forwards at the club and why he is simply special. It is all coming up today, so let's get to it. But I do indeed, guys, want to kick off today's video by talking about Xavi and his team, because of course we spoke before the game about our journey this season, about the fact that it hasn't been smooth sailing, it hasn't been easy by any means, but I think we do have to give Xavi unbelievable credit here. When he arrived, like we said, 9th in the league ahead of his first game, the journey and the progression that we've seen from this team since then, it has been a big turnaround, it has been a crucial turnaround, and I think it took real bravery for him to come in that kind of situation and actually had the confidence to say, I can turn this around. He knew that we had to finish in the top 4. He knew we needed a big recovery. And we've done that. He has delivered upon that. And what I liked about Xavi after the game is that he said, you know what, yeah, we have qualified for the Champions League, but he did say that's the bare minimum. He said here, that is the very least that you can do. He said now we will go for second place in the league. But he did say we can't have another year like this. He said next year we compete for titles. We have to compete for titles. And he said it has been a complicated season. He said we've got to analyse where we came from in November, where we are now. He said we do have to be happy. We've beaten the top 10 teams in La Liga in the second round of games, playing some excellent matches along the way. And I agree very much so with all of that. We have seen some big displays, but I think it was also important to hear from him that we know what we have and we know what we're missing. Xavi admitted there that our performance as a team, it has dropped in these previous games. A few weeks ago now, he said we're losing too many balls. At times, we don't look comfortable in possession in matches, but he did say we don't give up. The team, the one thing that I can say about them is that they have always fought and they've remained competitive. He said, when I arrived in November, when the opposition scored a goal against us in the 82nd minute, he said then we would have fallen back. But now it's the opposite. And that is a really important point there. We can't forget that in yesterday's game, a game that we had to win, Barça got that equalising goal. Really not the stuffing out of us fans. You know, watching that there, seeing Ansu score and then straight away conceding, it was a body blow. But we stood tall. And what a winner it was from Alba. Because genuinely, guys, you have to give credit, first of all, to the architect of that goal, to the assister there, Dani Alves, who swung in a quite beautiful cross there. It was begging to be hit, but still, take nothing away from that finish. Because you've got to watch that ball, the flight of it there, the pace of it, right the way until the final second, and bang! That is an absolute beauty from Jordi Alba. It's the perfect connection, and that is no fluke, because just think about it. Earlier in the season, that same combination, Dani Alves swinging it over to Jordi Alba, and it was a stunning volley as well against Atletico Madrid in that phenomenal 4-2 win. And even last season, it got me thinking there, back to the Copa del Rey against Granada, when Griezmann actually put one over to that side, and Alba smashed it in again. This guy, he has some good technique, he has quality, and this season, we've seen him arrive with big goals, and I think you do have to give Jordi Alba criticism and credit where it's due, because yes, of course, in the past, there have been times where he hasn't been good enough, and we've all said that, and honestly, he hasn't been. But you've also got to hold your hands up and say, since Xavi has arrived at this club, there is no doubt in my mind he's improved, and he's improved a lot, I feel. There are times, of course, when he has dips, when there's moments where he's not as consistent, or he has a bad game, but look, that can happen since he's got to play every minute. He is 33 years old, and we don't have a replacement for him. So when you're telling him that he's got to be out there every minute of every game, you are going to have dips, you are going to have bad games, because nobody can be good all of that time for all of those minutes. You know, even yesterday, he was struggling his way through the game after an early knock, and that is why I believe that next season, when we can get some support for him at left back, when we can bring in somebody who can also share that burden, I think it'll help him. And I think we could see Jordi Alba being even more effective when he gets a bit of rest, when he can have a little bit of time to recover from these knocks, because when he's at his best, especially going forward, he is quality. But I do think, to be fair, guys, when you're looking at the rest of the team and the performance yesterday, there are two players that I want to highlight who maybe came in unexpectedly, played a few minutes that maybe even they didn't think they'd get. One of those was certainly Neto, brought in at last minute, of course, to replace Ter Stegen, who was suffering with illness. And Neto, of course, hasn't played since January when we got knocked out at the Copa del Rey. And I think, actually, you've got to say, he did pretty well indeed. You know, good saves there that he made from Wanmi. It was a constant threat in behind us all game. Of course, there was one from point-blank range that he stopped really, really well, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's really good for everybody that Neto has come in here and actually showed, yeah, there's a bit of quality there, because not only is that good for him, his confidence, the team yesterday, but especially ahead of the summer, to show the clubs out there who will have been watching that game and watching his performance that he is still a quality pair of hands, that he can certainly do a job for you. That is great for everyone. And Riqui Puig as well. We spoke about him before the game in terms of what he can offer. Is he going to get the chance to show that? And he did come on for his first minutes after missing the last 10 games. And of course there is going to be a bit of rustiness there. Of course it's going to take a bit of time to acclimatise to a game situation. But what he does do, he does bring energy. And I think that's the one thing that you can never accuse Riqui of lacking, is bringing something with him when he comes onto the field. Whether it's intensity, whether it's some movement, whether it's looking forward and playing some more risky passes, if that's what's needed in the game, he is certainly somebody who can help you out. And I do like that, and I appreciate that about him, but I think it's also in some ways about managing that energy. That's the way that Xavi will be looking at it. We saw him a few minutes after Riqui came on the field actually shouting at Riqui, his assistant as well, telling him there about his positioning. And I think that is the one area whereby that needs to improve, and that is the area that he's been told time and time again that the energy is great. You know, there's a lot to like about Ricky's game, but it's using it in those right areas, and especially without the ball. It's where he needs to be that his coaches are keen to improve. But of course, guys, when all said and done, and with all of that taken care of, and huge credit to everybody that played their part in yesterday's win, the one player for me who changed this game entirely, the entire outlook of this game, it was Ansu Fati. We spoke about it yesterday as well over on MORETALKFCB after the game. The fact that it was actually a fairy tale return, given the fact that he suffered that horrible knee injury against Real Betis at the Camp Nou, and to return against them here and score within 70 seconds of coming off the bench. That was special. And I think it's absolutely right what people are saying. You know, I think Ferran Torres, and I think Dembélé too, they could learn a lot from Ansu Fati. And that is saying something there, that this player here, who is just 19 years old, Ferran's 22, Dembélé turns 25 next week, but still, they could actually learn from him in the way that he carries himself, especially in front of goal. Because I think both Ferran and Dembélé, they are guilty of snatching at chances. They get in good positions, they have opportunities in front of goal at big moments in the game, but when they arrive, there's panic. Panic sets in, and it's like they don't know what to do. They freeze in the headlights. But look at Ansu Fati. Every time he comes on the field, there's a feeling that he's going to score. And when he gets in a position, he delivers it. He's got the clinical touch. He has the final product. And just look at this. Comparing Ansu to each one of our forwards at the club right now and what they've done throughout the season, you can see very clearly there that Dembélé has to improve that goal output. That Ferran Torres as well, he is way too far down that list. And you've got Memphis, 195 minutes every goal. That's not too bad. Luke de Jong is right up there. Braithwaite, for the start that he had to the season, is there as well. And even Aubameyang, that is a fantastic number. 11 goals in 20 games and a goal every 119 minutes. That is good value. And yet still, it comes nowhere even close to what Ansu is doing. This season, Ansu Fati has 6 goals in 12 games, having played less than 500 minutes in total, and he averages a goal every 81 minutes of play. That is different level. That is a different quality and class to anything that we have in our team right now. And I think we lack that. We lack somebody who has the X factor. There are many good forwards that we have. I'm not denying that. But I just think when you look at Ansu, he brings that wow factor. When he comes on, you sit up and take notice. He has a presence about him. He has an aura about him. And it's not only about him, but it's what that can bring then out of everyone else too. Because when he came on, we started believing, the confidence starts flowing, he scores a great goal, and suddenly then, the feeling is magnificent. And all it's about now, and we have to absolutely hope and pray that he stays fit. Because if he can, and if he can continue to get out there, continue to play games, continue to score goals, honestly guys, the sky is the limit. Because this young man, he hasn't lost it. He will keep on getting in position, scoring goals, creating danger. He's different level. We just simply have to hope he can stay fit. And of course, guys, what I would absolutely love from you today in the comments down below is to let me know what you are feeling. You know, the day after the game, it was such a euphoric ending, such an incredible way to wrap up and secure Champions League football. And honestly, that feels like a weight lifted off us right now. We always had that Europa League feeling hanging over us, and to remove that now is very, very reassuring. We're going to be playing Champions League, and now we have to secure second place. Please do let me know all of your thoughts down below, what you made of the game, the performances, the individual displays. Let me know it all there down below. And of course, I'll see you soon with Barça back in action on Tuesday against Celta Vigo. I will see you then. Thank you indeed for watching and for all of your fantastic support. But until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.